All right. We got tight end Eli Finley and linebacker Colby Fields, and we'll open it up for any questions.
And you guys obviously knew coming into tonight there was a huge opportunity at stake. I guess just talk about the mentality that it took for you guys to pull this out.
I mean, first off, I want to give all glory to God, but no, yeah, there's always a lot at stake every week. No one week is more important than the other. So we had that mindset coming into the week, attacking every practice. I mean, every time we get on that field, there's one outcome we want, and that's to win. And so that's how we attack every week.
Honestly, last week for you, like quiet night, and then you come out here tonight and just terrorize these defense, probably get out good in the field, getting the state really started in that first.
Easy money.
I mean, it felt good, but I mean, at the end of the day, I got to do my job. If my role that night's 0 catches or my role's like tonight, I mean, I'm willing to do that job as long as we get a W.
Well, you guys have left 6 touchdowns through 4 games. Just talk about like this defense's just ability to shut like teams down.
I mean, it's just a mindset. Every week we go in, we expect to not let nobody score. And when people usually do score, we kind of be surprised. And like I said, it's just a mindset, man. We go in not thinking that nobody can score on us, and we just go out there and play balls to the wall.
You were in that pick 6. I mean, pretty well. As soon as I guess, like what led you to just kind of see that play from the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, all throughout the week, man, you go film, study, and you usually get the same things from offenses week to week because they are who they are. And our safety coach, Coach Cardi, was like, man, anytime back fast away, screen backside. So, I mean, I just trusted it. They ran it on like the second play of the game, and I tackled it, but you can never be satisfied with a tackle when you could go make a bigger play.
Honestly, when the card gets kicked out in the first half, and you guys almost scored twice on that same drive. Is it more about staying focused in that moment with the way the emotion that happened during that sequence?
Oh yeah, I mean our defense full of good players, man. I mean, like I said, we got a 3 deep in every room, not just a linebacker room, not just a D-line room, not just a safety room, not just a corner room. I mean, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Anybody could go out there and play for the Bulldogs at any given moment and play at a real high level.
I guess just like where do you see Blake's confidence level since he took over as the starter? It seems like he's just attacking downfield with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, and I think that comes from everyone that in this program. I mean, you go down there, he practices all week. All these quarterbacks practice all week. But, I mean, he trusts in his O-line. He trusts in his receivers to go make plays. And so it all comes down to, I mean, just having guys on the field you can trust. And so he knows we're going to go out there and make some plays for him, and so he's going to throw it up for us.
As a leader, like how do you kind of like keep the momentum like going? It's like this mentality of like you guys are about to enter league play with bigger goals. I guess like how do you keep the mentality of like we're gonna stack these like going?
I mean, we just week to week with it. I mean, like Eli said, there's no one week that's bigger than the other. I mean, we didn't come into this game like, oh my God, it's Southern Miss. We got to do this different, and it's just always a one-track mind. We attack each week like it's a new week. Our coach always say, Coach Olsen always says, 1-0 every week. So I mean, like we went 1-0 this week. Next week, our goal is to go 1-0.
Yes, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
We're here with head football coach Sonny Cumbie after his team picked up a 30-20 win over Southern Miss. Coach, can you just start us off with the opening statement on the game, then we'll field some questions.
Yeah, just again excited to get to 3-1. I'm excited to win 2 games in a row for the first time in a long time. I think that our players really did a great job of starting this game fast, and I think being able to stack consistent performances. We've been able to do that really since week 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there's been some glaring improvements. There's also some glaring things that we still have to clean up, but I was just proud of our football team. I think it was a complete win, and when I say that, the offense, defense, and special teams all took turns making plays, and really, making plays together at times in the first half where we played really, really well on all 3 sides of the ball, and then I think in other parts of the second half of times where our guys, whether it was the defense picking up the offense, the special teams, I thought John Chance really had an effective game punting the ball, and so but then there's moments on that where we make some bonehead errors that we've got to clean up. But to win football games is really important. We're excited to do that. Southern Miss is a really good football team. I think the 20 players that came with them from Marshall that won the Sun Belt last year are all guys that are really in their 2 deep, or guys that are playing a significant role in their football team. So proud of our team from that standpoint. I think that the all quarter century team being here, really for our players, on Friday night had a chance to really go through the list of those guys and talk about the accomplishments that those guys have had here, and then also in their career NFL-wise, but primarily here, and the respect and appreciation that as coaches and as our current players have, and we're trying to create that because, you have guys that are here for a year, for 2 years, and you want to let them know the rich history of this place, and so we were able to do that last night, and really the way that we wanted to show our thanks to those guys on the all-quarter century team was we wanted to play really well and to show them the sign of respect in terms of how we played and how hard we played and winning this football game in front of those guys that were here. And so we were able to do that. And so excited for our football team as we get to 3-1 and looking forward to getting back into Conference USA play next week, at UTEP.
We talk about momentum going into this game. You guys get probably one of your best home crowds that I've seen here in 4 years, and talk about obviously starting fast. We just felt like from the jump, you guys knew exactly the ability to start fast and kind of keep this crowd in it.
Yeah, I think that the momentum in a game, you want to seize it. Momentum through seasons and momentum. We've created a lot this year. I think again the Blue Bloods student organization has done a phenomenal job of really kickstarting our student support. Our campus, Kyle Kavanaugh and student engagement have done a great job there. They're getting our students here, getting them involved. They can give me a memo on the students. I think it was the students that ran out before the game. I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was pretty good. I think that's what it was. And I heard something cheering and hooping and hollering in the team room before the game, and I didn't know what it was. It was those guys, the students, I believe it was, that ran out before the game. So that was awesome. I think that playing the opponents. Southern Miss is a team that I know that we can all agree on how we feel about them, and our players feel the same way. And so I think it was important for us to capitalize on that momentum and to start fast, and we were able to do that offensively. Coach Franklin and Coach Young, they did a really nice job from a schematic standpoint of trying to take advantage of some of the deficiencies that Southern Miss had, and then Eli family made some big plays.
Talk about Eli, obviously, quiet night last week, but tonight, from the start, at your problem, how much of a relief did it, serve to have that like?
I think that it's not really a relief. I think the thing is it's one of those things where that's our guy. Because when you go through a game like last week where he didn't have but one target, there was a holding penalty, and there was really didn't sense a frustration on his part. He just wanted to win a football game, and he did that. And then this week he came back to work and prepared really well, made big plays. Made plays in the open field. For me, the biggest play of the night was recovering the onside kick. You talk about a nerve-wracking situation, but I think he relied back on his goalie skills, as he was a goalie. He was a big-time soccer player for a long time in high school until he decided to play football. And his sister's the starting goalie at UTEP as well, and played here Friday night, so he was able to watch her play a little bit. And we'll actually see her next week. And congrats to Coach Volts for the soccer team winning, Friday night like they did. But I think Eli is he does a great job. And again, I said it all season long before we started. Have a lot of high expectations for him, and he lived up to them tonight, and really lives up to them every day because the kid really wants to win. And I said this about Colby, on the post game. It's like these guys had some opportunities, and I think they want to be here and they want to win here, and they've done that so far this year, and they're a big part of it.
Obviously, the fourth down stop on the goal line, the Cam Franklin. Talk about the season that he's had. He gets the scoop and score game one, and obviously the pick last week, and then part of that fourth down stop. It seems like he kind of has one of those plays every single game where he just kind of rises up. Right.
Really, really proud of Cam. And I think, when you look at, being able to get him out of the transfer portal, a kid from Oak Grove, Louisiana, which we've, since I've been here, we've always had a player or two or three or four from Oak Grove, and they're great football players because they love ball, they love to work. Coach Gregory does a great job there with his program, and I think that when Cam got here, I think just getting his legs back underneath him from a football standpoint, finding that love for the game again, and Coach Carter, our safeties coach, has really done a really nice job with all of them, and I think you saw the scoop and score against Southeastern. I think that really gave him a lot of confidence, and I think that he's been able to continue to build off of those plays, and that's sometimes that's one of the things that you get a lot of joy in as a coach, is seeing an individual player progress, and really we're not ready to anoint him yet, but the lights came on, and he's made big plays in every game. And I mean, those two plays he made on third down, he and Colby making the stop, and then I think I just credit our defensive staff and our defensive players, because on that fourth down there was no one open. They did a great job of covering it, staying true with their read keys and their eyes, and there was nowhere to go with that ball.
What you got to think about the way this team, handle, making Braxton uncomfortable all night, the type of athleticism he had.
Yeah, that was going to be the key for us, is to try to keep Braylon Braxton off rhythm, to try to make him uncomfortable, to hit him, to flush him. We were able to do that. They hit some big plays on offense, and we knew that. And again, I said to our team, and I think they have the most explosive offense from the standpoint of how they play that we played, in terms of spreading you out, throwing the ball down the field, taking shots down the field, and they have some really good receivers, and they made plays, but we made enough of them to stop them. And our guys did a really good job. I don't think he was quite 50% completion in terms of throwing the football. Again, the pick six by Colby was just a phenomenal play that really kept enough distance between us that they were never really able to get back into the game.
Obviously, second half offense just kind of fell flat. Just talk about, I guess, maybe the run game kind of going a little bit quiet for you guys, but you just weren't able to put anything together.
Yeah, that was the thing that was disappointing, was the second half, and we talked about at halftime, is that we have a standard of how we play regardless of the score and the opponent, and we did not play to that standard in the second half. Our defense played really well, and I have to watch the film to see the specific reasons why, where the breakdowns were, and I think that's just something that for the four-quarter game, we've got to be able to execute, and I think the kids, I don't think they really have any idea of what they're capable of if we do that for 4 quarters, and that's our job as coaches, to try to to find ways to unlock that in our team.
You're 9-0 now when your defense scores. You have a big pick six. Talk about pick six from Colby. We saw Jacob Radford return the fumble last week. Cam Franklin did it first week. Just talk about the defense take-it mentality for them.
Well, their take-it mentality, they've done that. And Stephen, if we can dial up a takeaway or 6 points from the defense every week and keep that record, I like that 9-0 record a lot more than any other. So really proud of our guys on defense. They've bought into it. I think that, Colby's in particular, again, was an instinctual play where he knows what's going to happen before they do it. You see him look at the receiver, and then he flashes his eyes, and he jumps right in front of the route. And so, really had another opportunity earlier in the game where the officials, they didn't blow it dead, and we scoop and score and ran it all the way in. And so, just continue to do that. We know that if we can sustain it, great. That's kind of a hard thing to sustain, but our guys have found a way to, and they've bought into it, and they've done that.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Stephen.